Hey everyone, it's Coach Justin here, and what you're about to watch is actually a live recording taken from my private Facebook group. It is 2024. Everyone who I speak to is dealing with stress, anxiety, burnout. It's one of the most common questions that I'm asked both in my coaching and from people every day on social media. So in this video, I go into an in-depth answer on how I personally maintain being a high performer while avoiding burnout. I hope you enjoy.
How do I avoid burnout? It's a very good question. Okay. And the second part to this question was tied into like, how do I create a work-life balance? Right. Everything that I'm focusing on is around creating sustainable habits. If I don't think it's sustainable, I don't have a lot of time implementing it in my life. Right. And I get it. There are different people at different parts of their journey. There are some people here that are working a full-time job that need to get up a little bit earlier and need to stay up a little bit later. And I've been through that phase of my journey. And there are times in my business where I work a little bit harder and my hours a little bit longer. But the raison data of what I'm doing is creating really good behaviors that'll sustain me over a period of time, right? So a good example of that is, I'm not sure if it's as big here in Australia for my Australian clients, but I'm sure that most people in the States and Canada have heard of 75 hard, right? It's huge. And it's like 75 days, like 2 workouts a day. You got to drink fucking 10 gallons of water and eat like a rabbit. And a lot of people go through 75 hard and lose like 20 or 25 pounds. But then within 75 days of completing 75 hard, they've put on all the weight. Because what they've done is they've said, instead of creating good habits, sustainable habits over a period of time, I am going to do all of 2024's weight loss in 75 days. And they get to the end of the 75 days and they're so fucking burnt out that they don't work out for a month after. They're craving food so bad that they binge and their thermostat finds the weight. They're not of the awareness that they're better off saying, if you're not in the habit of working out, I'm going to go to the gym for 15 minutes a day for January. No one wants to do this. No one wants to grow slowly. No one wants to create a really strong foundation and build off that foundation. Everyone wants it all today. So they don't say, you know what? I'm not in the habit of working out. I'm going to go to the gym for 15 minutes a day, every day for January. And then February, I'm going to turn 15 minutes into 20 minutes. And then in March, I'm going to turn 20 minutes into 25 minutes. And then in April, I'm going to turn 25 minutes into half an hour. So it took you 4 months, but I can promise you, if you go to the gym every day, granted, you might give yourself one rest day, right? If you go to the gym every day for 120 days, it will be harder for you not to go than to go. Do you know that? If you study every day for the next 90 days, it'll be harder for you not to study than to study. If I don't study, I literally feel like that person who hasn't showered in a week and hasn't brushed their teeth in a month. Like, I feel so uncomfortable. Because it's a habit. It's a paradigm of mine. So then the beautiful thing is, because it's a habit, the universe opens the space for that. I'm never too busy to study. I'm never too busy to shower. I'm never too busy to sleep. I'm never too busy to eat. Well, you say, that's silly. You can't use eating as an example. Well, there was a time where humans ate once a month. Do your research. 3, 4, 5,000 years ago, people just like you and I, hunters and gatherers, were in the habit of eating once a month. Well, now we're in the habit of eating every day. So it doesn't matter how busy you are, you find time to eat. It doesn't matter how busy you are, you can find time to earn money. Earning money is a habit. Winning is a habit. Taking income-producing activities is a habit. So the first core principle of never burning out is, I'm going to create sustainable habits. I'm going to do today's work today. Stop trying to do all of March's growth today. Stop trying to play catch up. Oh, I'm 6 weeks into the masterclass and I've missed a couple of days, so I've got to double the lessons up. No, learn from your missteps. Never waste a bad day. If you have a bad day, sit back and evaluate. Why was it a bad day? Where was my thinking at? Is there something that's showing up habitually? Do I have patterns? So this goes back to the habit tracker. And you move on and you do today's work today. I'm never playing catch up. So that's the first core principle of never burning out. Right? The second core principle is understanding that we're not robots and we can't go at absolute full throttle every single day of the year. And that sometimes when we're a little bit tired, it's our body telling us to pull back a little bit. So then the question becomes, and listen to this part very closely. How am I showing up when I'm tired? So let's say, for example, for me, I can give you a personal example, right? January, I had a really big month, as in putting new systems in place, doing calls with my team, creating content. So I was working long days in January, which built into a very busy February, right? So then it was a case of, at the beginning of this month, I was finding it a little bit more difficult to wake up, right? I was tired. I was feeling a little bit run down. And I was like, okay, my body is telling me, hey, you can't go at this pace every day. So I bring it back. But as what happens is most people bring it back and then they start binge eating. Most people bring it back, they stop going to the gym. Most people bring it back, they stop taking action altogether. So I sit down, I talk to my girlfriend, I tell her, hey, I'm not waking up as good as I usually do. I'm a little bit more tired than I usually am. So don't schedule any plans for the next 2 weeks. Okay? Or if you want to make plans, you can go and make plans, but family, I'm not going to do it. My working out, instead of working out every day, I work out every second day. But guess what? I keep my diet really good. Right? I usually run, right? Running can be very exhausting. Now I said to myself, I'm going to ride for the next month. I can go, I can plug my earphones in. I've got a little screen. I can ride for an hour and a half and not even be tired. So instead of running, I'm going to ride. Okay, with my business, I've been doing a lot extra. What are the absolute essentials and where can I cut back for a week? Let's go back to this. Higher highs and higher lows. The quality of my life will ultimately be determined by how I show up for myself when things are tough. Substitute that last word. The quality of my life will ultimately be determined by how I show up for myself when I'm tired. The quality of my life will ultimately be determined by how I show up for myself when I can't be fucked. So if you are feeling a little bit tired, you'd be like, okay, I'm not going to bottom out. See, me 4 years ago would be feeling a little bit of burnout, McDonald's, KFC, Burger King, pizza. I'd say I'm taking a week off. And as what I would do in that week off is I would undo all the work that I did the previous 3 months. So I was going higher highs, just as low. Higher highs, just as low. Now I've learned how to temper it. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be a robot. You are human. These fucking idiots online that are pretending that they're never tired, they're fools. You are human. Do you really think that they reached a point where they've learned how to avoid human emotion? You're going to feel fear. It's normal. Well, living in fear is destructive. I feel fear every day. Okay, significantly less now than when I started my journey 10 years ago, but fear is a human emotion. Anytime you're going to grow, you're going to feel fear. So that numbnut that's standing on stage on social media that's saying, I never feel fear. And then you look at it and you're like, oh, I must be fucked up because I feel fear. I must be defected. It's bullshit. Okay, living in fear is destructive. Living in fear is an undisciplined mind, but you're going to feel fear. Okay, being tired every moment of every day, you're like, okay, there's something that I'm doing that is getting me to feeling tired, whether it be my diet, whether it be my working out, whether it be my thinking, because stress can be exhausting. So, okay, we don't want to accept it all the time, but if we're feeling a little bit tired, we could say, okay, I'm human. But maintain a minimum. Most people are going hard. They're full throttle on or full throttle off. So it's creating the life that they want to create, undoing all the work. And then as you do this, as you play with it, is what's going to happen is you're going to say, okay, your rest times, you'll be able to be more productive in your rest times because your paradigm is growing. Again, higher highs, higher lows. You can come on, David.
Hey, you made it through to the end. Thanks for watching. Feel free to like, comment, or share. Or if you'd like an in-depth breakdown of exactly how I've helped over 2,000 students globally achieve both their personal and professional goals, click the case study beside me and enjoy.